is one that it's a time-honored tradition at poetry nights. The host has to do the sacrificial poem, which means that they have to, they're going to expect other people to step up on stage, they've got to deliver a poem themselves, otherwise it's just not fair. So I'm going to do one called Press Play to Let the Movie Begin. Get off the plane first. God rewards a bias for action. Journey across borders and continents and tread the earth gently, unlike those who forced us to abandon our lands, once self-sufficient and abundant, now cheap importers exacerbating deficits. Get off the plane first. Breathe in the air. Free from dust, thick with prejudice and assumptions. Let your feet adjust to roads paved by cold weather and colder hearts. Make a home laced with anxious talk of repatriation. I was born of all of this. Blood bubbles and boils, and mercury rises. However, defeating anger is joyful. Resentment dissipates. My elders focused on survival so I could thrive. Their care intertwined with neglect and dysfunction. But I'm done. Done dwelling on that and marinating in it. No more looking over my shoulder. It's time to draw a line under all of it. Process it, document it, and then build. Press play to let the movie begin. Thank you.
It's all cut from a different cloth. You'll get the theme of it as I go on. Old souls can be taken as naive, but how so? Shouldn't an old soul know, having been here previously? Shouldn't an old soul be wiser, more intelligent, make fewer mistakes? I don't believe that's how it works. Old souls are treasure seekers, pursuing knowledge like young buccaneers at boot camps for modern day adventurers. Adventurers ancient and spirited, discovering contemporaneous notions, gorging on thunderous, curious lightning to guard against apathy. To fully absorb an occasion like preschoolers, old souls momentarily abandon wisdom for woody aromas of rebirth, carnivores of renewed consciousness. Old souls know we have a finite number of heartbeats while on this watery earth, so choose to forget. Thrilling in the voyage, while ashes are carried away in an urn, when death's scimitar demands our passing be celebrated. For grounding young wisdom, every circle should have an old soul at its heart to prevent folly from taking hold, preventing falsehoods of yesteryear. For when an old soul remembers, between forgetting, they whisper volumes of truth from an altitude impossible to attain by novel spirits. When locating an ancient soul, look for colorful verdant twinkles beneath their epidermis, an energy offbeat in comparison to human constructed metronomes. Quirky is a way to describe an old soul, cut from a different cloth, another. A younger brother or sister, a daughter or nephew may sheathe an ancient spirit. I see them, quietly going about their existence detached from the majority, confused by the lunacy they witness, unable to comprehend Tom's foolery. I cannot tell you what to do, only suggest. Discard new operating systems to keep old opinionated souls, to seek their assertive sentiments and hold their gingerly courage close to you nearby. My words are devoted to olden souls cut differently by the sacred scalpels of long forgotten deities who've long forgotten their responsibilities. Beautiful, honorable, old, magnificent soul, I want you to know, I revere you, I adore you, I behold for you. Thank you. Windows to the spirits. Thank you. And I think we're going to end on a shorter one. And it's one that a friend of mine who's in the audience today, I'll name no names, has really liked, and it's called Kairos Knows. And it's about the people who spoke truth into my life, even before I was ready to accept what they were telling me. I think we all know people like this. So, Kairos Knows. You found my voice. You told me I wasn't serving the world, that I had no choice. Your voice was clear. Mine had no clue. Spectacles you wear are a mask on your face. Not knowing what you meant, I condescended to your grace. I still don't know what you meant. Why procrast, why speculate, you rhetorical? I knew what came next would be astronomical, but still didn't get it. Your role is to inculcate, not be a side piece, mate. Masquerading among mortals, you should be jumping portals. People are not a mystery to you, so why pretend something clear is opaque? You need to fix up, mate. I asked, is that a cravat? You said the word is caveat. We laughed. You were the first to let me know my words have gravitas, that my stage presence is the physical personification of the ancestors' rage essence. You were the first to let me know my words have gravitas, that my stage presence is the physical personification of the ancestors' rage essence. How can a mind explode when it doesn't even know it heard a bar? The bomb went off later, ironically when I was thinking in a bar. Inside one of my dark verses it dawned. My purpose was spawned. I abandoned everything, feeling elated and forlorn. Almost. Now I dance through the forest with Chronos, forgetting to be wise, trekking back, clambering high for a roof beyond the gatekeepers and their spies.
Jeez.
Kairos willing, Kairos knows. You found my voice, now all of me can juxtapose.
Hey.
Oh, I'm quite indecisive, but I think I know what I'm going for. I don't know if you ever felt imposter syndrome, particularly when it comes to like the poetry. Yeah, so I went to a YA show. I know some of you have heard this piece before. I went to a YA show when she headlined BYOB. And after watching YA perform, you're forgiven for feeling a bit like, you know what, maybe this ain't for me. Kind of thing. So I went home and I started questioning myself. But you know what, you're cold. You're very cold. Because I think I got into a space where I was thinking, if I don't have this, what do I have? I do have a dog, but you know how the mind works sometimes. And I came to the realization that I am special, and what makes us special will not be what makes the footballer special. It won't be what makes the artist special, the visual artist. So I wrote a piece, sort of representing, but also reminding all of us poets about who we are. It's called identity. Ley Speaks in the show. When I say we are, you say.
Come on, wait for you.
We are.
We are
Boys.
Nah. No. When I say we are, we say we are. We are.
we are
Oh, I said militia. You guys sound tired. Are you hungry? When I say we are, you say
we are
okay. I like that one. Let's name it one more time. When I say we are, you say
we are
Oh, that is
Alright. Come on.
identity. We are.
we are
Hey, you get it.
We were ready.
Get it.
We were ready.
It's Sunday.
We are. Miraculous wonders. Wizards and wanderers. That means we're traveling the country and spells get conjured. Bars in abundance. Double entendres. We won't be divided. Strength in numbers. Tens of hundreds. Could be millions. I wonder a billion.
Come on.
yeah
Actually, maybe not billions, because you're not really brilliant if everyone's brilliant. I mean, if everyone's extraordinary, I become ordinary. Now I'm getting vexed because I know I ain't ordinary. And if I get pissed off, everyone pissed off. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Lift
off. Yeah.
And if you get restless, no hate gestures. I suggest that you jest with the ancestors. Last time they told me, secrets encrypted. All I can tell you is we've been gifted, divinely assisted. Don't get it twisted. Might be the greatest that ever existed. And when you touch mic, ears get addicted. Bodies turn liquid. Tectonic plates on the earth get shifted. Spirits get lifted. Minds get captured. Come like a sickness. Still take pictures. Quick, what's the caption? Wow. Those of reality might want to hit this. Drowning in sorrow, then cry for a witness. Drowning in sorrow, your mind and your business. Calling tomorrow, then writing in scriptures how time can't be borrowed and crying for bitches. Please. Deflate your egos. We ain't heroes. But we are.
We are.
But we are.
We are.
Extraterrestrial. Next to celestial. That means we're out of this world yet look down on no one. Gotta stay humble. Even if they know we've got first class delivery, why do they think they can label and box us? Don't give us titles like we are some boxers. Am I a poet, a rapper, or writer? Blood? I can be all or I can be neither. I am an artist. I am the hardest. That doesn't mean I'm too special for classes. The greatest of teachers still learn from their students. See me? I'm a fusion, master apprentice, and I need that balance in all of my friendships. Will I leave pen at the end of my sentence? Trust, if I do, I'll be back with a vengeance, because we are magical scribes with excellent rhymes, purest of souls, and the zen never dies, pen never dries, when never eyes, sense bad vibes, sever them ties. We are assassins, perform with passion, don't need laxatives to make shit happen. Line up the prophets in orderly fashion, unraveling truths when you get to rapping. Brothers and sisters, matrix glitches, you can ask Morpheus, he knows we're born for this. I go to war for this, shield them a sword for this, chip on your shoulder, why? We're the sauciest, hate on our energy, hate that it's meant to be, but all of that hate can't change our identity. I said we are.
Oh, we've got one more. He's got time still. The window is still open.
You trying to tell me? I will do that now because I'll forget. Ley Speaks, Ley Speaks, absolutely everywhere. If you're rich, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of that stuff. Next one's kind of deep. When you write deep poetry, you sort of forget that it's deep, especially when there's things that you've healed from. You're able to talk about it so fluidly, and then you're kind of like, wait, why are you crying? Because you've forgotten that like other people are not really used to hearing things like that. So this isn't one of my deeper pieces, but I'm really gonna get into it because sometimes I relive what I'm saying. So off my chest. Has your life ever flashed before your eyes? Then as the tears dried up, what you realize ain't how fortunate it is you made it out alive. So you would fare well without a goodbye. How many times you wish you swallowed pride? And how many times you made your mother cry? Too many times I've had to dry an eye. The bitter pill is if you had a taste of your own fucking medicine, you'd see that you gave them cyanide. That guilt's unbearable. Like, why should I be the only one of us hurting so I emotionally self-harm until I die inside? Call myself all type of names until I cyanide. Hold myself accountable, I never try and hide, so I always try and right the wrong before I write a rhyme. No one's perfect. My dad incurred deep hate, slim chances for a clean slate, so I still ain't got the words yet. I'm like a baby taking first steps. I'll fail and fool, wail and cruel, then rely on whoever is available. I've got problems, and if I can't face them all, I put a limb down or make a call. Like, yo, riddle me this if you're capable. Why are they so quick to point blame and wag their fingers, but slow with their helping hand? I'm what good as a slap on the wrist. When you know the same lesson is explainable, you see, Lady Luck has never been a friend of mine, but mistakes, I know all too well. She takes my joy, she takes my peace, she takes my friend, bro, she takes me to hell. But hey, at live to tell the hotel. Trying to balance shows with working in a hotel. I have to succeed where I know that most fail. If I cry, sweat and bleed, I wipe it off like, oh well, fuck's sake, do I hate what I do for a living? I feel most alive on stage. Emotion pours out my pores, I can't pause, and it shows at my shows where my thoughts are conveyed. See, I saw a career, I was loved by my peers, then woke up and amended my goals. But people pleasing is a toxic trait, and the bridges were taking their toll. Developed unhealthy obsessions. I started to lose control. What happened to the kid that would write just to give you a real insight to his soul? I guess he started thinking with his ego, like a porn star raising standards. Like, I need to go harder, I need to go deeper, I need to look good for the cameras. I just don't want to be forgettable. I'm considering something outlandish, because if I don't stand out, or I'm not outstanding, then I can't stand it. Maybe I should pray, just so I don't camouflage. I once pulled up to heaven like I'm looking for the man in charge. I just need some guidance, someone who can plan a class, teach a man to fish and answer questions that I cannot ask. So broke. I don't even have a penny for your thoughts, but that doesn't mean I'm asking for your 2 pence. Telling me the same advice, know my worth, raise my price, I'm sorry. I didn't plan to monetize the thing that saved my life, I'm still fighting for. You don't understand, I've had enough, so first of all, fuck you and fuck your little power grass. I don't need your help, and I don't need a manager. All I need is trauma to stimulate my mother bars, mind off. Then why not put what matters last? I'm the type to watch a snowflake turn into an avalanche. Nonchalantly daydreaming, excuse me, while I grab a glass, the reflection reveals a clown. Hey, gather around and have a laugh, so pathetic. Even when I'm stressed, I play the jester. Personal thank yous, appreciating every gesture. I see, even when I'm overwhelmed and I know I need a rest, instead I have this thing where I never want to pass on the headline. My problem is when I get the love from the turnout, I look around thinking, yeah, this is worth the burnout. Fueled by desires to be known as the undisputed number one, so nah, I don't know the meaning of rest. It's like the weight of the world in a dumbbell press, and that's why I have to get this off my chest. Like, am I the best? Or am I just the next informed? People told me greatest of all time is what I'm destined for. Well, I barely make time for the people I say I love most, and that's why I'm annoyed when women ask why I don't message more. Have you ever been ghosted? With no explanation? Now you're all up in your head debating. Was it something I said or perhaps never did? Is she mad that I kept her waiting? Punishing me for crimes I never knew I committed? We ain't even official, still trying to prove I'm committed. Trying to be damn honest, think I'm overcommitted. We ain't even official. Didn't ask me for nothing, silly me, I insisted, like, what's a man supposed to do? Trying to get close to you. But it's like the more I make an effort, the more you disapprove. You don't know how much it hurts when you can't do jack. Because after all that, she still don't want you back. And hell hath no fury like a woman that's scorned. You've been warned. I don't speak if my spirit is warm. I'm reborn, baptized in the fire. I was once engulfed in plenty fish in the sea, but where the fuck's my dolphin? Deep. Deep in my emotions, same time I'm deep in the ocean. This ain't Finding Nemo, I'll fucking empty the whole thing. Shit. I'm sorry, I think I went on a tangent. This is the type of shit I should talk about with the man then. How dare I tell you that I'm striving for a better me? But I'm the guy afraid to go to therapy. Why you cry yourself to sleep? Yeah. How about crying yourself awake? Because you've had a nightmare so vivid. Grieving a loved one that you lost before you even had a chance to try and rebuild bridges. Trying to swallow pride, but you can't because your throat has a fat lump in it. Waking up with cold sweats and tears streaming down your face, thinking, fuck, do I need to ring or visit? Growing more anxious by the minute. Avoiding sleep because you don't want to relive it. Yeah, shit ain't so damn simple, is it? Thank you.
I'm going to do a poem. I'm going to start with this poem I wrote recently. It's primarily a thank you to finding the poetry scene. As I was a musician for quite a while, I really neglected the idea of ever performing poetry, and yeah, ever since performing poetry and finding the scene, I'm very humbled by it. So yeah, this is a thank you. Your company is infectious. The kind of warmth I didn't think was needed. You see, you accommodate a space that's inviting to all. No judgment when I trip up or I fall. Your version of listening and patience is appreciated. These days, people don't wait. They can't wait. rushing to places but you. Slow things down and take in the scenery. You're humble, but you walk into spaces confidently. I'm open through art. I try to speak from my heart. But I'm reserved in conversations about chapters that cause me complication. They're boxed up in files in my mind. It's painful opening those colour-coded drawers, but I'll get there in my own time. Slowly shifting my connotation to vulnerability. Time. Do people have time anymore? Stick by you to unpack what's behind the surface, the superficial expression, the cry behind and buried inside. Doors are forever opening and closing, meeting new faces, and I'm quickly learning. Never keeping track of who's here for the long run, and maybe that's okay. Accepting temporary stays, it serves its purpose in its own way. I've always had trouble with endings and departures, with people that have left, considered me a passing character that they may soon forget. So what's left? The residue that gets lighter only when I'm writing. We practice smiling day to day, but who knows who's truly fighting. People still turn up though, against fighting the tide just hours before, bringing their sociable selves to the night and leaving their baggage at the door. So I thank you for showing me that there is a community in poetry. Success not shown in numbers or figures, but a space where people truly listen. So I thank you for showing me that there is a community in poetry. May I do one more?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I'm trying to write down all of the ones in my notes onto the paper because I prefer. Okay, this one it's a bit heavier for me. It's about, I say it's heavy, but like I feel like I've processed it in a way where it's digestible for me to now deliver. So it doesn't feel so heavy anymore, which is nice. It's refreshing. My habits shifted 2 years ago. And for those who know my relationship with control, they say have a bitter relationship with going with the flow. The crave for clarity is rooted so deeply that limbo is a more realistic state. Searching and digging for some structured days when what you're needing is in front of your face. Always stressing about tomorrow and the following days that are left, but I'm still here. They already took their final steps. Uncertainty and new faces that came into my life. Prepared myself as a stop-off on their bus ride, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Grief. Grief sparked this newfound love for time alone. Coffee dates, doing those couple-type dates, but on my own, I guess I've grown. I suppose during the state of grieving, I stripped back these bad habits of mine, and it's refreshing. They'd be proud of me. But just because I live cleaner, it doesn't mean the grief is ever ending. My version of fun may be bleak to some, but I like scheduling days in between busy nights. Just so I can breathe and take in the scenery, process unexpected moments in my own company. Grief with lessons. Grief taught me to slow down and not run. Have fun within reason, don't say yes just to please them. Not to follow a crowd, just leave if it's getting too loud. Because noise can be overwhelming, especially those who tell you things when you were never asking. They assumed I didn't care, but trust me, I felt it. They said I walked away confidently as if I knew where I was going. Said things without meaning, without truly knowing. I guess I need to get better at saying how I feel. Grief. Although it has provided tools of survival, I retreated for years and became my own rival. The amount I was writing to make sense of it was antagonising but vital, flickering between truth and denial. But years on and feeling settled, I don't quite feel the need to hide. Grief is still an everyday weight, but at least I have some form of peace and mind. Thank you.
This piece is called 6'4", and this is one of my newest poems.
New shit.
New shit. Oh my gosh, that.
Yeah, 6'4". When did life become a vertical challenge? When did life become a vertical challenge? Like somehow it's not meant for the vertically challenged. I mean, I know about life's roller coaster. Now, how much you know about life, about your role in culture, highs and lows, you still meet with the snakes and vultures, but they all make the same noise. Now, life's superficial voice will tell you that there's a height requirement. Like if you were lesser than 6 foot, then height discarded men. But give me credit. I can never get used to that 0% interest in that yearly APR. My former love interests say they needed hype to acquire them. So with love and life, when did it become a high requirement to require men to acquire them? But I'm no longer about the appease. You know you've met a real one when you finally go down to your knees. But I damage most relationships with vocal rap sheets of crime, with verbal perjuries that fell the knees every time I tried to please. I'd be glad if one accepted me for all the diamond dimensions. Love is 100% reciprocal. That's another matter I've got to mention. But you don't have to compensate every time you conversate. That's how you literally pay for attention.
I say that one again.
Love is 100% reciprocal. That's another matter I've got to mention. When you don't have to compensate when you conversate, that's how you never pay for attention. Saying things like they don't build diamonds as big as bricks. But if you're shortchanged and nothing little could ever mix, until I knew thyself as wealth, I had to stop with the chatter like Rizzle kicks. I'm 5'6", so in order for me to be 6 feet, I'd have to bury my woes and dig deep. Even grounded in my own crater, I'd still remain a pipsqueak, with a rose on chest. I suppose the world would finally appreciate me when I finally lay to rest. Rose that was left in concrete, I remained grounded until my soul was finally reaching heights. That's my actualization, my word to my affirmation. Figured the only measurement that measured men is the spirit ruler. I had to keep the internal in balance. Otherwise, nothing equated. There's nothing crueler if I had to listen to all the societal noise. It would forever leave me deflated. Societal noise would only leave you miseducated. I run in law on hills, you can debate. You're your own tutorial, you can rewrite your own body type. Society would make you think that you're stood that could do little. When the sky's a limit. Life is trying to hide your limits. When you can raise temperatures, you no longer need to Fahrenheit. I've climbed 3 peaks, so I'm no longer scared of height. But it's not for repeat. I repeat, setting sun, see my future ablaze. If I keep focused on the heights, that I'll only set myself from a maze. Because when I'm reaching height, I'm only reaching height, seeing life. I'm trying to make history, dates. If we keep focused on size, you'll never make a Napoleon Dynamite or Alexander the Great. You can debate. Thank you. So the next choice of poetry is between like my past and my present. So which one do you guys want to hear?
Present.
Where are you now?
Present.
Where are you now?
Present or past?
Present.
They say you should be present.
Present.
Whatever you want to do.
So presently, you know, it goes without saying, you know, I'm reaching my 30s and somehow I start my insecurities about me. So I used this piece recently and it's just a lot to come by. This is called, well, this is untitled anyways. When I say the word play one time, I just want you guys to say the word play. Play?
Play.
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 One time.
Play.
Play.
It seems like past words entered like past words into my mindset. It turned my mindset into a mindset. Now my mind of mine cannot compute this mental virus, I'm insecure. Now I'm standing here giving myself recognition. I'm gonna leave it to all of you to give this poem high definition because it's untitled. I'm in a place where I can speak easy. I have to get something off my chest. I'm in this place where I can just finally lay something to rest. I'm just trying to figure out how to say it best. For the longest time I had to deal with myself issues, but I want my poetry to say the rest. And I'm about to use my highest method of wordplay, but I won't start to everyone in the crowd says the word play. Play! Mirror on the wall. I'm disgusted by my still image. Disgusted I adjusted the cornerstones of what I perpetuated as a self-created image. When my eyes panned a dark scrimmage, I side-eyed the self-image that was ducking and diving to transfer me a full flexion. I refused to stand parallel, because all witness was a pair of owls and a pair of eyes. I was paralyzed, witnessing the same sorrow of a pair of lies. I said eyes, owls, paralyzed. I was ill for what I was used to seeing. I always saw myself less of a human being. But I guess that's how you lose your self-respect. When you can no longer self-inspect this mind and body temple, this vessel that you're supposed to protect. But as it reflects, I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't fathom it, and I guess that's why I'm a matrix mindset. Because I was triggered. I was the one that was triggered because I can no longer figure the figure image of me that was looking to discern with the raised eyebrow. Woo! I was triggered because I can no longer figure the mirror of me was inspired by the actions of me. Looking at myself and saying, which pill did I swallow? Because if I take the red pill, I'm feeling blue. If I take the blue pill, I'm thinking what the hell is really true. Overdosing on advice, I'm thinking what the mind portrays. It's a mirror image what the mind's eye relays. I couldn't fathom it. It's like if our cortex, I looked into our inner cortex, and looked to our forefathers before us and said, this is what the mind reflects. And because of my temperament, it disrupted my inner temple, which meant that my self-portrait seemed like it was full of portraits that came from a poor fate, like a bad NFT art in a Tate museum. Or Mona Lisa rolling her eyes, cooking a girl from The Exorcist like she's so insecure of herself. But this is where the message gets relevant though. I mean, I love being black. No doubt about that. I gotta appreciate the surface of my habitat. And I gotta appreciate my melanin. When there's still parts of this world that still believe that I'm bred in sin, now I give a toast to that fact. But sometimes I feel like only the sun appreciates the African habitat. But in 23, I'm still trying to figure out why the world still scorns the Afro-Black. But listen, let me hold your mind for a minute. I just said bread in a new theme. I said bread, toast, sunlight. I wanted to spread love in the message of the whole scheme. And I also said bread in sin. I just hope one day I can stand in the glory, in the presence of my reflected essence, to say the black of the berry is its own medicine. And to its own relevance, I hope the better version of me, myself, and I is its own state of prevalence. But right now, I stand in the repercussions of what can only be described as the reaper's cousin. Because I stood in the image of me that was roughened. But I still had a silently deep discussion with the potential in front of me that could be toughened, like iron sharpens iron, or maybe the mirror sharpens you. Because it allows you to build yourself up and chisel your features like it was carpentry. So tell me who's the sharpest you. But when they say iron sharpens iron, maybe it's not about being in the presence of others. I want you to be in the mirror next time and say, now you see me. This is us. I'm standing in front of the mirror's edge. And for you to be that top gun, you need to be that mirror that gives the mirror pledge. I see the avatar. But the problem is there's too much external noise in this world. There's too many opposites and requisites and too many positives and benefits. But what if we had a positive requisite standing opposite that will benefit me or you? Now that's a benefit. But as long as we focus on that, we won't focus on the light or the true reflection. We're all made in the image of God. That's a true projection. I've only got one body in this lifetime. I need to keep a temple. That's a real connection. But if I don't build myself up or chisel my features, then I'm only going to focus on imperfection. Everything I said today is a matter of preservation. I've been suffering for over 20 years. I've been present hating. But I know the best version of me is in the pipelines. It's like a present waiting. But know that every single mirror out there is to help you check yourself, respect yourself, inspect yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. There's no debating. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing?
Evening.
Good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you very much for being here. I'm going to do a mixture of a few different poems. This first poem is about nostalgia. And it's about kind of reflecting on what we were like when we were younger and how much things have changed. This one's called Thumb Wars.
Jeez.
We used to play thumb wars, now we swipe left or right. We used to play wink murder, now our looks could kill. We used to play duck duck goose, now we play snog marry avoid. We used to play ring a rosies, now we all fall down. We used to play I Spy, now we watch Instagram Live. We used to play cops and robbers, now we play good cop, bad cop. We used to play Simon Says, now we just ask Google. We used to play Piggy in the Middle, and now we have a fear of missing out. We used to play Stuck in the Mud, and now we're stuck in a rock. We used to play Catch, now no one wants to catch feelings. We used to play Rock, Paper, Scissors, now we'll do it now, later, or tomorrow. We used to play Rounders, now we're running around in circles. We used to play What's the Time, Mr. Wolf? Now we have an estimated time of arrival. We used to play hopscotch, now we're hopping over our heart. We used to play tag, now we tag each other and think we're it. We used to play hide and
Say that again.
Say again.
We used to play tag, now we tag each other and think we're it. We used to play hide and seek, now we're finding ourselves. We used to skip, now we skip instructions and videos to find people or things that make our heart skip a beat. Thank you.
Go on. Damn.
This second one's called Lifeguard.
Lifeguard.
Forgive me, for I am a lifeguard who doesn't know how to swim. I've seen so many people Sorry, let me start again.
Go again, reload.
Forgive me, for I am a lifeguard who doesn't know how to swim. I've seen too many people so happy to be in a relationship that they never questioned why they made so many trips to the shore. A lot of relationships that you thought would go the distance never left the harbour. Hit an iceberg, capsized. So many people drowned at sea thinking that they could swim. That they could survive being in a relationship. But the ships that really set sail were the ones that pushed the boat out. They understood that they were the ones that really pushed the boat out. They adjusted the sails when they needed to, realised that sometimes you could be both the captain and the first mate as long as you were steering. It doesn't matter which way you were going. Those relationships dealt with high tides, unpredictable winds and extreme weather conditions. They never let pirates take over their ship. They anchored each other, so when either of them said, I love you, the other said, arr. Thank you. This one's called Now I Know Why Princesses Slept in the Highest Room in the Tallest Tower.
Say it again.
Now I know why princesses slept in the highest room in the tallest tower. They understood their value. They understood their self-worth. Prince Charming can shout I love you, but can he climb those stairs? When princesses made their beds, they lie in them too. They slept like they weren't getting out anytime soon. The truth is they never needed rescuing. They just got fed up of everything. They needed the rest to awaken everyone else. What use is being a suitable age when all your suitors are unsuitable? So much for being the knight in shining armour. Funny how the fairest of them all was exposed to the darkest of things. Funny how she was protected by 7 dwarves, not men. What can Prince Charming really do to make Cinderella's dreams come true? She just wanted to live in a castle independently. Sleeping Beauty woke up to a charm. Maybe Ariel gave up her voice because no one was listening to her anyway. Maybe Belle just wanted to read. Princess Jasmine just wanted to explore life outside the castle. Pocahontas wanted to follow a path, one that didn't involve marriage. Mulan wanted to fight. Merida wanted to lead. So they all retired to the highest room in the tallest tower to get their happily ever afters. Sweet dreams. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a Disney remix of it.
Remix.
This one's called Imprisonment. I have imprisoned memories of you, but thoughts of you still slip through the bars. I hide this from the others. They don't understand. I've stopped trying. There are things that are unspoken, unresolved. They don't get the closure that they deserve. Here you are safe. There's no exposure. No chance of being noticed by anyone but me. Sometimes you ride my train of thought and don't get off at the stop I want you to. Sometimes you ride my train of thought and make it about you. I reduce the visit slowly. Sometimes I miss you too much to let go of you so easily. Sometimes it's the walking away that kills me, but that's what I have to do to keep myself alive. I get interrogated about you sometimes, but I don't mind. I'm used to the questions now and what I'm going to say. Knowing what, I act like I don't care, hoping that one day eventually I won't. But it's never that straightforward. The worst is when I walk you back to your cell, the conversation's still flowing, even though we both know where we're going. You walk back to your cell silent. I lock the door, but you call out my name. We lock eyes, let out a deep sigh, wondering whether this will be the last time. Thank you. This is a poem that I wrote about about overthinking. That laughter shows that definitely resonates in the room. This one's called Mind Tennis.
Okay.
When my mind plays tennis, there's no love on the court. Just a racket of highly strung words hitting the chords of my nerves, striking to be felt when I'm hollow. Rubber balls of thoughts that go back and forth, going around an emotional net. I maneuver my mindset, but there's no return. I just have to play ball until there's a point taken. I'm single in a game of mixed doubles with a Hawkeye for a Grand Slam. I try to keep my mind open, but Wimbledon makes an interjection. There's no baseline or centre marks, just a service line of arguments for and against. I hold my position, but the mind has had plenty of practice. It serves and receives the point. I try to match the pace, but the audience gaze has me distracted. I touch on a point, it lands, it's void. I retake, game, set, match, deuces, but am I at an advantage? I guess I'm at break point. Then I'm coached by my conscience to take a stance, to have the power to make solid shots. It's a forehand of feeling, a backhand of backlash, drop shots of lost thoughts, a grip and I'm served till I'm injured. Take me out the tournament. I'm not playing anymore. So I retire to the bench in a rage, use a towel to wipe the sweat and sacrifice off my face. I guess no one's a winner tonight. Thank you. Okay, this one's called Monopoly.
Monopoly.
Monopoly. Testing your skills, those of you that played over Christmas.
We know how to play.
They can't love you properly but still see you as their property. Just like a game of Monopoly, it's better to pass go than to open up your chest to the community. To take the chance.
Say that again.
Go from the beginning,
They can't love you properly but still see you as their property. Just like a game of Monopoly, it's better to pass go than to open up your chest to the community. They can't love you properly but still see you as their property. But just like a game of Monopoly, it's better to pass go than to open up your chest to the community. Only to pay income tax for no outcome. They'll tell you to take a chance, but you don't know if you're in jail or just visiting. You're waiting for a light bulb moment from the electric company, but it doesn't enlighten you. They drive you crazy, then expect free parking when you pay luxury tax for austerity measures on your heart. When they live rent-free in your head, you pay mortgage for a house you don't live in, their heart. Thank you. Okay. This one's called If Only I Could Kiss You. If only I could kiss you. I'd run my thumb from your temple to your jawline, watch as you breathe deeply, see how your face softens as you fall in sync with me. If only I could kiss you. You would listen to how my lips express everything I'm too afraid to say. It's not that I'm not vulnerable with you. It's just your slow, wide smile stimulates me to overthink everything. I feel safe with you. Not just in your arms, but also in your heart. Those 4 chambers dedicated to nothing but the best and worst parts of me. You keep it under lock and key and don't give anyone access to it, not even me. You say, this is my interpretation of you, my perspective, my world, my whole view, so when you look me in the eye, I can see how our vision is valuable. We share so much that support is guaranteed. Our commitment to open and honest conversation shows how much of a compassionate companion you are. Not just how your words align with actions, but how your grace and trust leads to affection. Of all of my senses, you bring out the humour in me. You have a way of sending my insecurities to sleep and awakening the confidence in me. Our sixth sense is intuition, which makes it all that more intimate to me. Just good vibes that makes any room that we're in blush. We've elevated to a higher frequency, so we tune into the musical meditation of our heartbeats, whether that be my head on your chest or how our hands meet. We just let love flow through us and let our auras align accordingly. Thank you.
Come on.
This one's called playing cards. I guess my heart is a playing card, considering the amount of times I've had to deal with it. I'm not calling your bluff, I'm telling you straight off the cuff, because I wear my heart on my sleeve, that I am a 10 of hearts. 5 red hearts that are reflective of love, and since it mirrors, I guess it shows how love can turn your world upside down. Bottoms of hearts touch like sharp points on darts, hit me, but there's no target. So Cupid can't aim. He might be an archer, but if he's without arrows, then I guess he's a humble observer. But I bet he would probably miss anyway, both the target and the point. I guess there's nothing that I can say except that's not a gamble that I'm prepared to make. The bet isn't worth the hand, it doesn't matter how much you raise the stakes, especially if only one side is the right way. You believe in luck too much. Got more chips on your shoulder than you have on the table. Ooh, snap. It's my call. 2 10s of hearts don't make 20. Is waiting for a 9 or jack to save me. But the jack is telling the queen jokes. It makes her laugh so hard that her crown falls off, but the king catches it. It's a casino royale. It's an 808 of heartbreaks. But like 7, everything goes on top of it. It may be numerically lower like 6, but the 5 senses take over the 4 players, only for 3 to say good game. 2 hearts can't be as one if they're not part of the same club. They need an ace of spades to dig under the pressure to get diamonds, and since diamonds are a girl's best friend and they are forever, I guess I like the hand I've been dealt. Ready to go all in with nothing but a poker face. The house might always win, but I've built a house of cards before. Shuffled better than any dealer because I know what the deal is. I know it's a stacked deck. You just follow suit like solitaire. Maybe I've held these cards too close to my chest for too long. But the truth is I never needed a full deck. So read them and weep. This is my tale. Deuces.
The pain of remorse. I still sigh at autumns, remembering so the love unencumbered, the places would go, the sweet kisses shed in the cool rose-pink breeze. I can still see her smile and how her lips teased. The pain of remorse is like thorns on one's feet, and poison still poison, no matter how sweet. Adversity's tussle, I fought the good fight, one droplet of strife for 1,000 moonlights. On a cool winter's night, I came home to find she packed and departed, left nothing behind. I found someone else in that short note she left, took all that we'd saved, and then left me bereft. I think of her beauty, good times that we shared, yet regret is a thorn still prickly in bed. Complicated passions. I was blessed by the allure of love's desires before being sanctified by the holiness of its vision. I mean, school days, beautiful Chiquita, eyes twinkling with the synergy of stars and moons. She was ravishingly elegant, petite, and demure. I recall a quickening of pulse, an inner tremor in her presence, how my life was stalled with eyes mesmerized by the sweet rays of her charisma. She smiled with the majesty of Da Vinci's Mona, walked with the grace of swans and eagles. She glowed too, a real class of a princess who knew her worth, even if too reticent to announce it boldly. Her name was constantly on my lips, by days on buses, at nights, a bed of solace to cradle a passion that consumed me, of this royalty I knew at school, one that moved with the finesse of drifting snowflakes, walked with the poise of a Nubian goddess. And so I chased. By days in school, by nights in the reverie of twilight imaginings and passionate dreams, my delusions had taken hold, and I was filled with the frivolity of boyish charms, pushing me to unattainable heights. Had I ever felt like this before? Was this to be the reality of screenshots I saw of Anthony and Cleopatra, scrolls I read of the valiant Paris and the bewitching Helen of Troy, that magical face that launched 1,000 ships? Alas, my advances were parried by a wise and dauntless royalty, always entreating with gentleness and impunity. My next encounter with the princess was most surreal. She sang love songs to my heart and played arias in my soul. Her lute stirred a hunger in my being, the strands of a vocal sitar stabbing my core with its sweet notes. I was absorbed in the red flames of a silhouette that spoke to the oxygen of my blood vessels, transformed the dynamics of my breath. We frequented the same room in private and dined in bikinis and shorts along smooth sandy beaches, coconut palms and the delightful glow of aquamarine waters. One morning, post spending the night together, I leaned over and kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her soft rouged lips. Persuasion stabbed into emotions burning like a cauldron to fulfill the affinity of flames coursing through my being. My heart's noises throw up 1,000 feelings, dying to communicate to my unruly mind the messages of love. Alas, although she acquiesced, murdered my energies of desire, I was short on courage that day as I walked out of her room sorrowfully, knowing that I would be on the next plane out. My soul traveled 4,000 miles, revisiting that memorable morn. Giving back. You're beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Day and night I see the image of thy form inside my soul, your fragrant breath hugging the serenity of my existence. Your sweet kisses, your undying love is a panacea for my survival. Yet it wasn't always like that. I recall when your gaze betrayed the pain in my heart, puffed up with sorrow, even as the tears dropped from my sodden soul, weeping through the emotions, stabbing at my core with daggers drawn. You listened through the fire of my loneliness, sharing my despair, even as I kept knocking on doors to find the entrance to my happiness. Alas, like the deer running after its own musk, I was propelled by my desires, forgot in my ignorance that the way to peace lies within the interior castle. You came to me in my aloneness, the sweet luster of your delicate rays, blanketing me in my nakedness, the fiery flames of your heart-warming embrace, washing away my remorse and unworthiness. Now my thorns are all gone, and your roses of love remains. I want to hold you, blend with the synergy of your hugs, turn your heartstrings of support to an enthralling melody. You have taken away the turmoil of my silent noises, removed the isolation from mental fetters that once took hold. Now my soul dwells in the sanctity of thy sacred space where we share our delights. I want to walk with you, cross distant lands and rocky Appalachian mountains where the fawns and fauna whisper sweet arias and canyons speak to us of love. I want to hold you so close, like the moon does the night with its luminance, and the sparkling stars carve an unspoken thrill within, so strong that silence merges with the tremor of one single breath. It is payback time, for even as the flowers offer their fragrance and sacrifice unconditionally, so too I wish to constantly offer myself to you. Your soul sunlight has conquered the darkness of my shadowed past. We've become soaked in an arena of light to make this life meaningful. No, I can do naught but blend in you, like the spark of diamonds wedded in fingers of eternity, perennial drums beating the tempo of freedom. My sweet, sweet empress, let me adorn this love of yours with 1,000 bouquets of magical flowers, for you came into my afflictions, garlanded me with the purest concerns for my happiness, removing the bloodstains from the light of my own mirror of self-inflicted wounds. Nancy Carey.
I spent too much time watering dead flowers and wasting fertile soil on pessimistic seeds, incubating anxiety in a greenhouse full of weeds, bending over backwards for others but neglecting my own needs. The mind becomes gluttonous by the food on which it feeds. See, I'm just trying to vibrate highly and keep it on the low. Mind my business, eat my greens, sit back, enjoy the show, because while you're out chasing paper, I'm out here chasing the page. The wealth I get from words and verse is bigger than minimum wage. There's currency in thoughts and feelings. Please, can we exchange? Best believe I'm going for the leading role if all the world's a stage. But this change didn't happen overnight, and in hindsight it was long overdue. It partially came about because of you. Never thought I'd say it, but shout out to my ex. I'm little mixing all the parts of me that weren't parts of your recipe, baking me into the 3 tiers I was meant to be. And it might be black magic, the way I wholly transformed. But I got tired of pulling the high priestess in reverse, and I got tired of hating the person in the mirror. They say one peak of a mountain is the foot of another, and all stars must explode before they become a supernova, so I'll never stop changing. Whether it's divine feminine or divine intervention, a cosmic anomaly or a bright constellation, I'm not taking any shit from anyone, ever again. I don't need your wilted roses, I buy myself flowers and write myself notes on post-its and stick them round the house, tell myself I'm beautiful and worthy without a doubt, enough just as I am. Without a man, or a hand to hold me as the clouds start to congregate. I closed the chapter on our version of love, but I used to keep the page folded. Now I keep the doors bolted and threw away the key and the blindfold you made for me. I can't believe I willingly traded my sight for blind love. Exchanged my corneas and consciousness and confidence for cold shoulders and empty promises, doing dirty dealings, getting deceit and duplicity for my daisies and plasticity, when my identity foundations were covered in carnations. You were the toxic chemical that rusted the grass of expectations, but this new sensation of heightening my vibrations is better than any bouquet of apologies you ever gave me. With your clothes drenched in Dior Sauvage, but you're not suave, making me carve my heart into parts and selling them off to the highest bidder, telling me I'd look better if I was thicker. See, I've been bleeding out since 2018, emaciated by the endorphins of a teenage dream, anemic from the copper promises you gave to me, rings leaving rims green as envy, because those promises were empty. And those diamonds only glistened because my eyes brimmed with tears, a refraction of my deepest fears of a life of us that felt like this. But I swear, I'll never loosen my grip on who I am ever again. And when my petals shed, I don't want you to stick them back on, but say I look beautiful without a crown on my head. Love all of me, or nothing at all. And if you're going to buy me flowers, I would really prefer tulips.
Yeah.
This next piece is a little bit heavy, so bear with me. Just want to give a trigger warning. It does include themes of domestic violence. Don't listen to anything you don't want to hear today, but yeah, all love. So for context, this is based on a recurring dream that I used to have when I was a kid. And it's called In My Dreams, You're All I See. I used to have this recurring dream since I was about 2 or 3. I'm in the backseat of a car, driving along a beach. The outside picture so serene, but suddenly my mum falls asleep at the wheel. We slowly drive into the sea, and I can't breathe. I start to scream, but my lungs fill with water, and all I can see is blurred bubbles. So I stop fighting. I sit calmly as water engulfs me, and then everything goes black, and I'm back to consciousness. I call it a dream, not a nightmare, for a reason. Nightmares are things we cannot see, figments of our deepest fears, but drowning is my baseline state. Hypervigilance was innate. I spent most of my life before the age of 8 making friends with the monsters under my bed, in hope that I could hide there too. I learnt to sell soothe from the age of 2, wondering what stars had to misalign for me to be born at that place and time to a mother whose favourite pastime was beating me black and blue. Forgetting to give me food. Never saying I love you. She had a kid when she was still a kid herself, to parents who gave her family trauma like it was a gift, an heirloom to be cherished and passed down. The women in my bloodline give birth to mirrors that reflect their ugliest parts, flatlining egos and breaking hearts, living out the prophecy until it restarts, passing down rage like salt down the table, cementing the cycle from the grave to the cradle. Trudging through the trenches of your temper, my name got comfortable clenched in your jaw. She felt at home when said through seething teeth. She would let earthquakes shake her walls and make her bleed and hope that one day the clouds would clear. The idyllic form of a mother would take her in her arms and hold her near, and all her problems would disappear, but instead she lived her life in fear, finding out why storms were named after people. So I look for ways to numb the pain, sitting cross-legged in the pouring rain because the feeling of drowning makes me feel safe. Now I'm so used to monsoons that I've become fluid like water, faking smiles until I become the perfect daughter, apologising to tsunamis for being in the way, icing bloody fists that have punched me in the face. Now I give my heart to people who won't give me their weekends, people pleasing to earn love just to be told that I'm intense, dropping everything for people who would drop me in an instant, not feeling worthy of a love that's more than inconsistent, latching onto people who I know are growing distant because their validation defines my very existence. I've always felt like a burden. So now when I love someone, I cling on so tight, wanting to savour every second of human connection before I feel the sharp sting of rejection and I'm back on my lilo in the sea of dejection, looking into the water only to see my mum's reflection. Maybe I'm the monster. Maybe it's in my DNA. Maybe that's why I scare everyone away. Maybe I'm unlovable. Maybe I'm pathetic. Maybe my childhood was meant to be prophetic, the origin story of the best villain ever known, the anti-hero who prefers to live a life alone. But I still cry when I see my friends with their mums, wondering if I had that in another dimension, or in a past life, or in a dream that I wake up and can't remember. What if used to prefix all my sentences, but like distance makes the heart grow fonder. The longer I spent away from the mirror, the more I learned to love myself. And that little girl I used to be, trading childhood for solemnity, has finally found some serenity in realising it wasn't me. Now that I'm grown, I visit her in my sleep. She says, I've had this recurring dream, ever since I was 2 or 3, of a life filled with love, kindness and peace, with warm home-cooked meals and people that love me for me. Passions that let my heart run free, a skin like armour that can be shed to vulnerability, leaving behind the chaos and embracing the tranquility. In my dreams, she has invincibility, like a superhero, and her power is empathy. Then she looks up at me and says, in my dreams, you're all I see. Thank you.
What we say, guys? What we say?
Yeah.
I say, okay, you say, wait!
Wait!
On the...
Wait! Wait!
So yeah, I just released a new single on Spotify, exactly on New Year's, called Arnie The Beta. So yeah, let's go. It's a story about myself when I was 17, going through some real struggles. I said, fuck being broke, when I make this P when no job right when I hire. And I feel like a car with a missing wheel of a work, I'm feeling tired. I was in lesson, paid no attention, young boy going through stress. I'm overthinking about life while worrying. Am I gonna pass this test? No, not saying that I never chose this life, but what other options was there? I grew up in Dagenham East Side, another torn place where the government don't care. I went from freestyling and a playground into telling my story. So I'ma go hard from a quote from the morning, call that hometown glory. Mad when you say live life in the face of a man only lived as a teen. It never took a DNA test to say that she never walked in his jeans. No, running till I had stitches, realised what life seemed. Woke up from a dream thinking of my wrongs, when I should have been on my team. Don't wanna be barking up the wrong tree. She walked in a branch and I watched her leave. If she got money in a man, then can you say money grows on trees? Can't say money's root to all evil. A world where mums had to bury their seed. Can't walk with the grass with the serpent's leech. Why can I have blood for that money and greed? You can have grills in your teeth, but talk is cheap. That's word to a dentist. Nah, so I took all these chains off. All them leeches move independent. When we sham, the first olders would hate. Don't they learn? When you in a vase of ashes, no matter how much you earn. See, my stepdad never liked me and my bro for no reason. If he never kicked me out of the yard as a new tracksuits, I wouldn't be stealing. Cause when the teachers thought I was sensible, boy, the pain on my heart was mendable. Life or death situation, me and one friend selling medical. So one day we were scores in the ends. When he met with a cat to a group and knife to his neck, it was at that point should he get a good job, he shot it again. But even if he made the right choice, never meant that he's wet. He wasn't on war, but had the thought of getting revenge and the cats put back to the vet. I know they went over your head, but he don't wear his heart in his sleeve. When he put his hands on deck, 48 cards, where was his queen? I was puffing that green. The eye that was gotta be rolling from peer pressure. I'm trying to make notes in the load of sopranos, 50s, 20s, and 10s. See, I was scraping my changes to be so broken about ice cream. I'm the oldest of 6 in my mum's side family, so I had a lot to redeem. See, I only had a brick phone, other kids my age had a new iPhone, favors, nah. You only get a dart on, heart of Samsung, no Delilah, the iPhone. And then man, moving like divas, they never put Amy or Libra. She wonder not cause I conquer the world, cause I seize her. I'm a dreamer, yeah. See, I don't wanna hear never broke guy talk about making riches. I ride for my dogs, real ones from barking and losers talk like witches. And back to the narrative, the outskirts of the east side, not enough cameras. At a point I was stammering, so fuck beefing over the money of a catalyst. And it's mad when you say live life in the face of a man only lived as a teen. See, I never took a DNA test to say that she never walked in his jeans. Alright, so who has seen Hood Teen Story Part 1 on YouTube? If you haven't, that's fine. That's fine.
Come on, man.
Alright, just to let you know that we have some stars in this room who's actually part of the video as well. Big up to my brothers, RBJ, the man,
come on.
and Ley Speaks. And then towards the back. Come on. We said, should we do a preview of part 2, or do you want to go through part 1 first?
Part 1.
Alright, cool.
Hit him with the part 1, my brother.
Need the context.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, there we go.
So the continuity.
You wanna do that again? Yeah.
No, what are you doing?
Hey, should we come up on stage?
Yeah.
Maybe for part 2. Don't. Hood Teen Story Part 1. Don't judge a book by its cover. That's what the people say. Welcome to reality where people do it anyway. See, human beings always wanted what we couldn't have. To realize that we lost what was in our hands. I grew up, a screw up, threw off, flipped the Z. Lack of confidence was irrelevant. Shit was getting tense in my environment, surrounded by violence. Raised in Dagenham wasn't love, but this shit from my ends. I saw a part of fun all my peers can ever see. This is my therapy, no, she won't remember me. I visualize one day we have a happy ever after. Holes around the city, all the flowers getting gardens. I told my boys, but they couldn't see the picture. You can't cheat architecture just to paint the perfect picture. One day we bumped into each other near my drum. I take a bullet for her when my friends are moving as the gun. So we walked around the block and tried to know her better. The type to judge me for my character, I'll never let her. She said tried to judge me for my character, I'll never let her. She said she kept the room, said her guy always abused her and her father wasn't there, so we related it, but right together. I'm hoping, can I take this girl from this guy? What makes you think the same won't happen to you? Devil is a lie. You can't mix the vision for the M's with the fish in the ocean. Mix them up, you be drowning in emotion. At night times you're speaking. Confidence is peaking, never left me alone, but she emotionally deepened. But I be going deeper, we eventually sleeping in the same bed. I noticed that I'm missing calls from my friends and messages about where heard the music catchy, we support you, but same time we're so distracted then our passion fruit. The same ones who told me that she ain't the one, I take a bullet for her when my friends are moving as we're gone. So I bought, what happens next, guys? Do you know the next bit?
What happens next? You're the storyteller.
Come on,
Moving like a gun.
Yeah, moving like a gun. So I see a private message saying that I'm wanted. I smoked it off and kept it moving.
I ain't running.
Finally returned the call to friends to say what's new. They told me something that I really hope is not the truth. I hit her up to find out if it's serious, like an unfinished sentence. I heard you missed your period. Why am I stressing over what could be a blessing? Did I learn my lesson? Grown too quick into adolescence. She told me link her in the house as I'm by the door. I hear a voice behind me saying, did you hear that the hood don't love you? I said, who are you? He said, that's my girl, and that you don't belong to you. Should I be egotistic? My mind is telling me to say, I loud up the chick, my mouth is saying, really is it? In my mind I'm thinking, will I be the next statistic? Either I be dead or pulled out and be in prison. I stood my ground outside and trying to look tough, but deep inside I'm panicking, am I about to get rushed? Should I follow in my guts or see my guts and my gloves? Cause how can I believe in love when it be hard to build trust? So I see him standing with you, man. What happened next? I'ma leave that for part 2, cause this story is true. Love hurts, but lust is painless. You give your world, then one day you're strangers. When I thought it's time to be the man, I faced my face not wrong. I was blinded by the physical, not evil day will come. I should have listened to my friends when they said she was the one. I took a bullet for her.
Even though
she was
the gun.
Just to realize she was the gun. Yeah. Alright, cool. So, who wants part 2?
Woo!
Yeah.
On the what?
On a wave.
Alright, cool.
Wave.
Right. This is quite high energy, just to let you know. So if you're invited to shake it out.
Come on, feel the room.
I need some space in case I knock out the mic.
Don't knock out the mic just yet.
Don't judge a book by its cover, that's what these. Don't judge a book by its cover, that's what these people say. I shut the book, I also burn the pages anyway. Within my circle, what goes around came around. I wish that I could burn the whole bush they always be around. Sometimes I feel the loudest I could be is being silent. The hood patrolled by trident. Smelling death around the corner, finding where the sign is. It's hard to close my eyelids. He tried to pray for an angel, but couldn't get the guidance. I turned around, he was a victim to the system. Even tried religion, couple blocks and came his house is worth the millions. One of his guys was bellied up, I tried to recognize him. The other hoodied up and sirens came, we kept composure. He said he'd text me through a phone to meet me here. We acted like police in here 3 hours earlier, they started plotting. One of his guys told him focus on the back. The other pressured him into retaliating. Nobody taught us how to be a man. At first he thought revenge, pride, ego in this world of evil prevents us from being the best that we can. So he's in the predicament of what will be the plan. Is it the grands or the can? Devil in the word doesn't mean you can't develop. Took a bullet for her, who really was the weapon. Tried to chase for love, I couldn't help myself. I wish I had someone to teach me how to love myself. So if I put myself first, would I be stressing? Life is just lessons. Devil came knocking on my door of no blessings. Pain is the essence. Will I be dead or be arrested? See my perspective. Mirror on the wall bar, heart worth reflecting. And I'm when I'm waiting. Should live going through twists and turns and it's just fun. Don't be concerned with chasing perfection. I hate this shit.
Love ain't no fake it till you make it
shit.
I wish I had somebody teach me
how to love myself.
Maybe I would have avoided
the situation shit.
If I were to fight, I'll tell up to you. I
If
had
I
to
forget.
like you didn't take your baggage walking down my life out of spite, because you said we're out of time, I'm out of line, but out of time, out of mind. I need somebody who'll be patient with me.
That's it.
Go by the name of Nomadic Libaax. A nomad is someone who just wanders, and Libaax means lion in Somali, innit? So I try to represent that in what I do, poetry and music and the vibe. And yeah, I got a platform called Poetically Perplexed, where I feature different artists through a series called People That Are Poets and showcase their work. So if it's something you'd like to be involved in, let's get you on the series and we can chat after. Let me put this out of the way. So I'm gonna do 2 things for you tonight. I'm going to do a poem from the book and then something a bit different at the end, innit? And then this poem is called Getting to Know. And you'll see what you're getting to know. Getting to know you has been one of the greatest pleasures and rewards of my existence. To be in your presence is a pleasure, for you are a gift to this world and all those you encompass. Your essence radiates a glow which is euphoric in nature, in a manner which is calming and reassuring. Your words pierce hearts with such precision, care, tender, and enticing. Your love is immeasurable, as you always seem to share it with all, regardless of whether or not it's reciprocal. You love optimism, seeing the best in people when they may not see it in themselves. You turn past memories into moments of remembrance of the most dearest sentiment. You are beauty in its entirety. Both inner and outer reflect your essence. You bring light to this world in times where darkness seems to prevail by showing through kindness. We can all learn to heal. The way in which you embrace each day gives me hope that tomorrow will be better. You always know what to do in times when things seem to feel under the weather. You are a friend to those who feel alone, a place of sanctuary for those without a place to call home. Because they say home is where the heart is, and yours is always open for those with nowhere to go. You are miraculous in ways beyond imagining, for you are a gift to this world. Through your presence you bring peace, and through your words you soothe souls, to show that kindness does heal and love is real. That there is more to life, people, and existence, as our understanding may be limited, but yours is truly infinite. May the grace of the Creator touch each and every soul to realize that this life determines the eternal abode, where our Lord calls us home, King of the highest of the heavenly thrones. Like I said, getting to know, and by the end of it you get to know. This piece I'm going to finish with is called Walk Away, because when I say what I have to say, I'm just going to
walk away. Powerful.
Okay, social media is Nomadic _LIBAAX. And that means Libaax. Then we got X with an X, that's how we do it, so on. Trying to make it out of the jungle, where if you stumble, it's a world rumble. They don't really care if you're humble. All that matters is you back your chat. So don't chat back a guess, or you could lose more than you have. Everything is maths. You just got to know when to add and when to subtract. Divide the dividends in order how you spend, right down to the last pence. I speak now, but then it turns into past tense. You see, I see things differently. I mean figuratively, not literally, not. Let me reload it.
Wheel it.
Take it back for you, it's gonna be a techie one. Trying to make it out of the jungle, where if you stumble, it's a royal rumble. They don't really care if you're humble. All that matters is you back your chat. So don't chat about the gas, so you can lose more than you have. Everything is maths. You just gotta know when to add and when to subtract. Divide the dividends in order how you spend, right down to the last pence. I speak now, but then it turns into past tense. You see, I see things differently. I mean figuratively, not literally, not in terms of what you see, not make believe, make a move away to leave. Autumn's coming, so don't fall on your leave. Let alone leech or let alone speak. If you don't learn to teach, how could you earn from your speech? From the mark that you leave, lest others lead as they follow your lead, creating a need to change what some believe, or leave them with the false truths they keep. Sincerity seen to be weak. Honesty just means you're naive. Ignorance is bliss and idiots exist. That's just life, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me take it back a little bit. Honesty, ignorance is bliss, and idiots exist. That's just life, and it is what it is. Now I'm going to flip the whole script. Because I think I forgot the rest of it, so I'm going to go to the next bit, which means we just go with it. Like, sometimes I forget my words, sometimes I forget my place, and sometimes it's okay. That means I might not know what to say, but don't worry, I'm not in disarray because it's not a diss take or a piss take. I'm just trying to say what I got to say. It means if I get it off my mind, then I get it off my mind, but if it's not online, it's on life. I said if it's not online, then it's on life. It's on life right now. That's why this is not streamed online right now, unless, hi. Like, most times blessings, they come in disguise, because there's blessings you can't deny them, there's blessings you can't define. You can hold your hands high to the sky, crying out, God, why? But then you just look at your life and you understand why. It was more than implied from the way that it was applied. I mean, pressure makes diamonds over time. So you got to analyze the disguise of where the truth lies to find the surprise. It's all between the lines. So read the lines to realize, oh, you've heard that line, I mean, redefine what it means to be prime. Not like optimist, because I've got an optimistic mind. That means I overstand to understand to how to understand. I overstand to understand, that means I apply my understanding to understand. So for what I stand is where I overtly stand. It's not a covert thing or an overt thing, it's just like, brother, it's a calm thing. Like, oh, go on, king. If I beef with a guy, then I turn to a Spartan, but I don't need a park a pen just to park in. Like intricate wordplay, you can say it from Monday to Thursday, but you know when it's Friday, man. It's the haha and the kiki until you find your kiki. You know, it's just about having fun with it. And what I'm showing you is another segment of a series of style called Poetic Free Flow, where you just have fun with it.
What's the tizzy?
You see glyphs, I see letters. You see lines, I see sentence. You see words, but I see weapons. You see spoken word, but I see checkers. You're playing chess, but I'm fine playing checkers. I'll become king at the end. These poets are veterans. They're writing per chance, pen chant for pen and chance, the furnace of circumstance. You see, this is the Metaphorest. I plant seeds that grow plantlings, that grow pages of leaves that become poetries. Plant enough of these, you'll produce a Metaphorest. Bring in columns of libraries, poetries that go over heads like canopies, that go deep like volumes of valleys, the Metaphorest. Defying all logic. This novelist traps novices in notebooks of oranges and segments behind enemy lines, in sections, I spit phlegm. No lozenges, out of every pore, every orifice. Words undergo metamorphosis. This whole conceit is what a metaphor is. It's not quantum physics, it's quantum lyrics. Evoke the meta spirits when you hear this. Metaphysically, spiritually, I'm a renegade and retrograde. I'm an Aries, so I'm a ram anyway. I'm fire too, so I'm in my own element. Among regiments, I build resistance to artificial intelligence, which actually seems to be real right now. Everyone wants to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Take this from my throat. I'm barred from the bar exam for passing out notes. I don't mind being a sheep. My bar black and I roll with Bo Peep, who rolls with E3 Bo Peeps.
Nice.
When sheeps speak, it's called barring. I'm a black sheep. I ain't got any wool, but I got many tools that will rob you. I want 3 bags full. I'm the underdog. They underestimate me. They say I don't count, but I put them to sleep. I'm slept on. There's a wolf in this sheep. But if you cry wolf, others won't believe. I've done dances with wolves. I smoke pipes with the chiefs. No wonder why they ask me how. I bar bow and arrows across their clouds. Through their dream catches to take the silver from their 9 clouds and the spoons up from out of their mouths. My heart of gold, no wonder why it weigh heavy. My mind gold, my mind cold, no wonder why writer's block seems like my mind froze. It bears fruit, I cherry pick cherry bombs. These bombs will leave you buried. Why do I have to be blunt to get to the point? Well, why are there 2 sides to a coin? Read between the lines in a poem. The depth is in the words that we own. Once they are shown, they are no longer your own. They dissipate into people's souls, in minds and hearts they are sown. Roses in concrete? No. Prose that is so deep their auras chose to leave, they astral project to the land where foes meet. I am one of those sheep. I broke into the word bank. I got away with words. I broke into the word bank. I broke into the word bank. I got away with words. Say it with me. I broke into the word bank. I got away with words. Yeah, now you know. Goddess and sheep.